My name's Andrew Rossman. I'm the Vice President at Globio Incorporated. We are a pharmaceutical and life sciences consulting firm. We started looking around for a solution like BigTime. We had been with a competitor for many years, about a decade, better part of a decade. And what I figured out was that software was changing so frequently that our admin staff couldn't keep up. So what ended up happening is retraining multiple times, multiple hours every single quarter, that it just kind of became infeasible to keep up. So I wanted a different solution that when new releases came about, that we understood what those releases were and could actually implement those into our business. The biggest factors for us, well, number one, we're switching to a more virtual state for a company. We used to, have employees in-house in a building, physical locations. So projects were more ran on, a chalkboard versus now it went more virtual. So one of the biggest things we needed was some sort of project management tool, which BigTime had. The task center within that for each project is pretty seamless and really keeps people focused on the billable task at hand. The alternatives to BigTime, really, they were kind of clunky. They took, an hour to set up a project, where in BigTime it's taking me 5 to 10 minutes for any given project. So that was a huge thing. And then, of course, like everyone, cost. So BigTime just seemed to have this cost model that we could scale with it. So we're a small company, a company of, I think it was 5 when we first joined with BigTime. Now we're up to 12 to 15 on any given day with contractors. So it allowed us the ability to scale. And I think that was a huge plus for us. Yeah, the implementation of BigTime was really simple. It was pretty straightforward. We did it kind of in a 2-step process. We did it first for the admin staff that was going to be operating the back end to really get comfortable with the system. So that took about a week. Then we were able to set up our new projects within BigTime. That took about a week. And then getting all the staff onboarded took about a day. That was the easiest part of the entire setup. The reason that we didn't bring historical data over is we were using a competitor, Mavenlink, for about a decade, like I mentioned before. And the system for exporting the data, it was very clunky. We couldn't figure out exactly what to bring over. And ultimately, it was just easier to retype and re-enter that into the BigTime system for anything that we wanted to bring over. My day-to-day work, luckily I don't have to manage the data entry coming in, so that's been great. Allowing an admin to really take ownership of that has been a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. And being able to trust someone from day one to be able to go in there with the parameters set that you can set for your own company within BigTime really allows you to understand and pull reports at any given time, and understanding exactly what your employees are doing, and even details about why they're doing it, if that's what you're wanting to know. So one thing about our business is it's project oriented, and every project is wildly different. So we have a bunch of tasks and subtasks for each one of our projects. And a huge improvement that I've seen is less questions about what am I supposed to be doing on a project. So not only does it keep the time for that task, but you can also identify the task that someone needs to work on and push it out through BigTime. Speaking of kind of the integration side, we utilize the QuickBooks Online integration tool. And that's really where we find a lot of value in BigTime. Is it kind of comes over seamlessly. It also allows us to make corrections within BigTime before bringing it over to our accounting software. We use a QuickBooks still for invoicing, which it really helps to kind of have that double stop, double look before invoicing clients. And we've noticed a huge increase or a huge decrease in the amount of invoices with mistakes on them. Whenever you make a mistake on invoicing, obviously it can lead to upset customers. So it's really been beneficial in that regard. The big times allowed us to kind of forecast for the next week, what kind of task each employee needs, how overloaded they are, especially in 2020 to now in 2022. It's been a huge thing for people either slacking off at their home office or working overtime and not mentioning anything. And you can't really see that stress that you're putting on an employee. Typically the numbers do tell you something. So what we've seen is if we have an employee working 50 hours a week, we can forecast a little less work for them that next week. Adversely, if we have an employee where they're coming in at 20 hours per week when it was supposed to be more like 40, we can easily increase their workload based upon the reports that Big Time's giving us. I would say probably my biggest piece of advice is make sure that you find something that can fit your company. Every company is different. If you have 10,000 employees, it may be a different solution than if you have 10 to 100. Secondly, make sure that they can scale with you, understand what your growth looks like. Not every company wants to grow, and maybe you don't need an overblown solution, but maybe finding something that just fits your exact needs. Also, look at and make sure that the company's been around for a little bit. Make sure that any bugs are already kinked out, they're already rolled out, or that they have the support to back up whenever releases happen. You don't want to be stuck with a software that's stagnant, but at the same time, you don't want to have to relearn the system every quarter.